Now, special rugby coach of the year, Edgar. Who do you think that one will be? Anyway.
I actually can't tell. It's a tight thing.
It's a very tight. Yeah, it's a tight competition, a tight race for the coaches. You know, we have that one from Platinum Credit Heathens, and we have that one of the Uganda Rugby Sevens. And by the way, Edgar, Rugby Sevens did us something great when they went to Africa Rugby Sevens. You know what they did, and the Safari Sevens there in Kenya.
I just can't tell.
As you can see there, those are rugby players. You expect them to have those tight bodies, because they are fit. That is one. They normally, actually, what they do better are exercises. In fact, Edgar,
exercises are better if you're eating, of course.
Yeah, if you're eating, you need to build. You actually have to build that body, and I think Edgar, from that view, you can be like Leonard. Look at Leonard, and you can see you can compete him in that. Anyway, we have Marvin Odong. This one coaches Stanbic Black Pirates, and you know Pirates did well in the Uganda Cup last season. We also have Leonard Lubambura. Lubambura. In Nyankore we say Lubambura, but this one is a Muganda and they say Lubambura. This one coaches, you can see him. He never removes those shades. I don't know if he has something like a juju in those shades. This one coaches Waluku Barbarians and Helen Buteme. Really? Edgar, can you? You don't even have a quarter of his beard anyway. Helen Buteme, this one is a coach of Black Pearls, and this is a women's rugby team. Away from the coaches' nominees, we also saw most valuable player. This is domestic. Remember, these awards are always annual. They are given year in, year out, according to how you have performed, or according to how your team has performed in the current year. And now, these awards are actually sponsored by that brand there. We don't normally support that brand here because we are okay. We saw Emile Lekuru, and this one comes in from
I'll go for I think Asha.
You go for Asha. Lekuru helped us lift the rugby sevens, the Safari sevens, and she actually did a good job. Anyway, Emile Lekuru, Black Pals, and we have Asha Nachitio from Thunderbirds. Nachitio also did some good job, but I think for you're choosing Asha. But when it comes to the national duty, Lekuru did us. She did us justice in Kenya, especially when we were overcoming that Germany side and that Kenyan side. You know our rivals, Germany and Kenya. When it comes to anyway, not yet. They have not yet selected. But we also have Peace Lekuru from the Avengers. In fact, people confuse Akuru from the Avengers and this one from Black Pals. But me, I'm going for Lekuru from the Black Pals because she did us justice when it came to
Team Nachitio.
Team Nachitio, that is Edgar. Anyway, away from that, we had some action coming in from the Western Region League. Edgar, yesterday I told you we had a couple of games, but one of them was actually postponed. That is a game of Rugarama taking on. No, earlier the region had communicated, the regional body, the Federation of Uganda Football Associations and the Western Region Football Association, that is WRFA, they actually communicated saying the pitch or the venue where that match was going to be held could not be available simply because of the government work that was actually going to be activated at that pitch. You know, district issues. You know, all the pitches in Uganda are owned by either the city or the district council. So now here in Rubare they had a district function that took place at the stadium, so they could not host this game. Away from that, we had a couple of results coming in from a game that took place there at Rukunjiri Municipal Stadium, whereby Rukunjiri United beat Rugarama FC 1-0. By the way, Edgar, Rugarama FC has been one of the talking points here in the Region League because they are beating each and every opponent they come across. So Rugarama came all the way and won this game 1-0. Nyasa Football Club also at home lost to Rwampara Bulls 1-0. This is a surprise. Both teams won 1-0, and they were all away. Can you imagine? Edgar, that is the Region League. According to how the table stands now, so far from those results, we can confirm that Rugarama Football Club is still leading the table with 16 points after 6 games, and we actually saw Ntoda decline. They inclined to the second place just after the win of Rugarama because there was just 1 point gap between the two. When Rugarama won, they actually took to ascend to the table apex with 2 points. Coming there in second, that is Ntoda Football Club. This time they have just pulled up, they have changed their style. Gorilla Islands SC also coming in there in third position with 12 points and goal difference of 10. But Gorilla Islands has played just 5 games. We shall see coming in from the next game that actually is going to take place this weekend. You know, their game also at Mashaka Stadium was postponed, but we expect that game to be played on Sunday. If it happens to be played, we shall bring you all the results. And Rukunji United, Nyasa and Omunjani Football Club are sitting at the bottom of the table with 3 points there shared by Omunjani and Nyasa. 3 points shared by Omunjani and Nyasa. That is also Rukunji United coming in with 4 points at the bottom of that table, Edgar. That is the Western Region League. Away from that, I can confirm that Uganda has opened their chances of qualifying to the next round. That is the round of, we can say round of 16, but it's supposed to be here because we have a few teams. It's going to be round of 8. Our quarterfinal shall be round of 8 instead of round of 16 like we see in big leagues. Anyway, Uganda opened their chances after beating Zanzibar 2-1 thanks to the own goal scored by the Zanzibar player Aderi Edgar. It was a tight game, 1-1 at halftime. These boys came back. We had been helped by Travis Mutiaba through that first half shot that he took. But when these guys equalized, we saw everything change. Everything changed at Kenyatta Mamboleo Stadium in Kakamega, that is in Kenya, when the Zanzibaris equalized against us. It was a tight call. That is where all our hopes were in that game, because Molebe Kwaso had told us that this is the game where we have to implement the lessons learned from the first loss that we got from Tanzania, and we expected to win this so that we can open up our chances of qualifying for the knockout stages. Away from that, you have seen that Zanzibar's goal, the result was 2-1 in favor of Uganda as we beat Zanzibar 2-1 thanks to Travis Mutiaba and that own goal from the Zanzibar side. As I take you through what are the events going on in Uganda, we also have the FIFA women's coaching refresher courses taking place at FUFA Technical Center in Jeru. We have seen the big shots in women football, the likes of the Kampala, you know Kampala Queens coach, the former Kampala Queens coach, and now at the time is Kawempe Muslim coach, Ayub. Coach Ayub has gone back for studies, man. I was surprised. This man knows football and he has studied a lot of football, but he's going for a refresher course. I'm surprised. No coach from Barra has gone.
And there was an center, whatever you know,
Edgar.
And that has been able. You know, we lost a guy called the later bus send.
Yeah, bus. Yeah.
You know, you just go. Not even wakaka. He tried to motivate. He was used to motivate them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a twinner motivating people. People don't know the value of these certificates, these papers they just get.
I'm not attacking that office, but that WFRA office is kind of
redundant.
It's a simple thing. When it comes to lobbying for us, lobbying for this region in terms of these football chances and these football opportunities, those people, they really need to check up. Will not attack those people. Edgar can do that better for me because he knows the strings attached to my profession. Anyway, away from that, we saw the Uganda Crested Cranes team depart for Morocco, where they are going to play an international friendly against Morocco. We saw them departing, actually taking Uganda Airlines. In fact, Edgar, Uganda Airlines has actually
Uganda Airlines.
Yeah, of course they have to be served because they are part of our treasure anyway, Edgar. That's a team as they were getting off the bus. In fact, Edgar, we expect to put up also a good challenge against Morocco, because Morocco is the powerhouse of women football in Africa. You know what they did when it came to AFCON 2022, but we also gave them a lesson. You know that Smile Komuntari free kick that actually shook everybody's head. That is something to do with Crested Cranes. You know how Sherry Botes and Charles Ayeko are prepared to take on Morocco.
I like the way those athletes of ours dress up. I think FUFA has tried so much.
The federation has tried actually. When it comes to that, we have actually
even our athletes, by the way. They have tried.
We are doing better internationally when it comes to the way
Magogo is a smart guy. How would he fail to make sure that
very smart, Edgar. There are very many things attached to his smartness. Anyway, regarding the spending of that national teams, but regarding the qualification, the qualifiers that we go through for those national teams. Anyway, that man is as smart as you have said. We saw the rugby hero, the rugby maestro, that is Philip Wokorach, visit the ladies in Tunisia, and he had some things to say about how the ladies expressed their talents and displayed on the field. That is Wokorach for you. He is one of our best experts in rugby. He plays in French Elite League. Edgar, Wokorach has been one of our best rugby experts ever. Talk about that guy. He was actually the captain of Heathens, and he was the captain of the Uganda Rugby Sevens, but now you can see he's one of our international, we say international players when it comes to rugby.
Yes,
we are doing better. We're doing better that side. He visited the ladies in Tunisia, and those were his words actually as he supported that team. Away from that, Edgar, we also saw our former rugby captain Wandera being sent off. You know, that man passed on the other day. It was a sad moment as we were sending off our former captain and our former champion. You know, he helped us secure that Elgon Cup victory back in the days. That is Wandera. We pray that may his soul rest into eternal peace. Away from that, Edgar, we can confirm that we had the Champions League games last evening, and your team struggled. That is the truth. Your team struggled. Those were some of the pictures coming in from Wandera's send-off. But let's talk about the Champions League now, Edgar. We had a couple of results gathered, but guess which results were too interesting and too disappointing. Team Arsenal, I will begin with Arsenal, made a record for the first time in 30 years.
Arsenal.
Yes, like Arsenal. For the first time in 30 years. I know. For the first time in 30 years, the Gunners, who are the Invisibles in 2004, managed to score 5 goals in the halftime. That was a Champions League record. Edgar, they managed to score 5 past lengths.
I think they had scored 5 against Inter Milan.
Remember in the first half.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the number of goals.
The number of goals, yeah.
5-3.
Yeah.
Remember that much?
You
they
remember?
scored 5 against Inter Milan.
Yeah, they also came to score 6 against CSKA Moscow back in time.
AS
Roma, you know about that point. Galatasaray stand Manchester United as they came from behind to equalize 3-3. That was the game in Atatürk Stadium in Turkey.
I don't know what we shall do to Onana. Onana
you always told me Onana is better.
Is on and off. Yes, but not better than De Gea, of course.
Yeah, not better than De Gea, but
my words.
You saw that second goal?
But we miss Casemiro. That's a fact. Those tackles that you saw Fernandez do. Those tackles you saw Fernandez do was the result of he was coming back.
He had to come back to collect the ball.
Deep 6 person, and he made those 2 senseless tackles. Those 2 tackles actually were the 2 goals. Okay. And but having made those tackles, because he was one of the best players for Manchester United last night.
That's true.
Fernandez. But the keeper also, that very second goal was very disturbing. You make some good saves, and a clear chance that you're supposed to save.
Edgar, there's a problem when a wall is mounted against a free kick.
The first free kick is okay. By the way, it was a plan. They planned it training, and that was you can beat anyone. That's good. For us who have been watching soccer, there's a time I was in Kawa and watched Newcastle play Manchester United. The other Newcastle, when Cristiano Ronaldo was there, the time they jumped and he swerved it down. So those things are on training, and you can do. So the first one we were caught off guard, but the second one there was room.
Yeah, Edgar, but
even the former Chelsea guy who played it, who scored that second goal, he wasn't even sure it was. It was like a cross.
That's not sure. But Edgar, there is a way Manchester United players mounted that wall. When you mount a wall with the first tall players, let's say Harry Maguire was there, and you had no one else to back him up, there was little space for Onana to anticipate for the space where the ball was coming through.
But now, whose fault was that? This is the keeper.
Yeah, this is the keeper, and of course the defender.
You have to enjoy your wall. You have the captain there, second captain Maguire, who is experienced, who should be knowing where to stand.
Yes,
You've already been beaten.
Was the problem.
You've already been beaten in the very first half. You know how these people have scored? The same guy that is going, same direction, because it was from his good left foot. There is a free kick. You have to organize. There's no way I can even explain that.
Edgar, there was poor communication between the defenders and the goalkeeper, because he had anticipated that was a cross as he went in for a tight press to that player who was going to receive the ball. I don't remember the name. Was it Lorelsa or something? But you clearly see Onana was moving to intercept the ball, and suddenly the ball had to curve down. So he found himself struggling. Anyway,
but then, still, the third goal. A good keeper can't be beaten. You're near post. It's even not far post. You're there where you are. It's where they beat.
By the way, Edgar.
The movements of Onana also are
by the way, Edgar, I actually question the goalkeeping coach of Manchester United.
That third goal also, Van der Sar. You see, like Edwin Van der Sar, even De Gea, considering that goal, it was even not far post. That post where he was exactly is where they hit. The fact that it was a hard thing, he was supposed to punch it, but unfortunately, anyway, Manchester United were bitter, and we are playing Newcastle over the weekend.
Yeah, over the weekend. I understand what you're going through.
Hard times later on.
Manchester, we have to accept it's not the mighty Manchester United anymore. Away from that, Sevilla was also beaten by PSV. That was also a surprise. Sevilla beaten at home at Estadio Ramon Sanchez.
Soccer is becoming interesting.
Soccer can be cruel sometimes.
I pray, by the way, I pray on top of, we are on national TV now. I pray Manchester United, the fact that we are not going to continue, I just pray we actually stop from there. We don't join the Europa. That's my prayer. We just stop from there. We continue hustling with the big boys in the Premier League.
Edgar, soccer is funny. You beat Bayern Munich. That's
interesting.
Anyway, we shall have to bring that discussion tomorrow. I told you Sevilla was also beaten by PSV at home. Can you imagine? Anyway, that is soccer. Bayern Munich also surprisingly drew 0-0 with FC Copenhagen. Edgar, people were saying Copenhagen is a small team, but look at what.
Now that's when the tables turned. You see Bayern doing, because had it beaten Copenhagen, the thing would be different.
Yeah, but very much different.
But now it's and I am actually happy, disappointingly happy. You know, we should stay in that fourth position. Go
and go back home.
Yes, we go. We just leave the things of Europe. After all, we have it. We just leave it this time. Otherwise, we are going to be playing. We are going to be humiliated in the Europa. Let's better focus in the Premier League. 6 points, we just Arsenal, and of course we know they are going to lose points. You're going
to have a problem, Edgar. You want to focus on the Premier League, and then you lose some of the games.
Because we don't have that capacity. We don't have the capacity to play all those trophies like this. But Manchester United playing FA, playing Europa, playing Premier League, in and out. No, we can't. This season, no.
Edgar has started to lose trust in his own team.
We saw trust, Arsenal, but that's the reality.
We saw also Arsenal thrashing FC Lens. FC Lens beat them in the first leg, but now Arsenal came back with a good plan to overcome that one. 6-0.
I doubt their consistency. Really? I don't think they can even reach the semi-finals.
That's the team actually that was struggling against
that team. They gave 6 last night.
Yeah,
defeated them.
Yeah, in the first leg. Edgar, Arsenal was struggling against Brentford, but this time they scored 5.
And I want them to continue.
Gabriel Jesus.
I want them to continue. Ateta Tagare, they continue. They go through the Champions League. We're getting around 16 by quarters, semi-finals, deep.
Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz also there. In fact, we saw the second time the Brazilians in the Champions League are combining their efforts to score for Arsenal. Martinelli also and Gabriel Jesus scoring in the same match day. Edgar, Real Madrid beat Napoli 4-2 and Braga drawing with Union Berlin 1-1. We also saw Benfica draw Inter Milan 3-3. Champions League last night was actually a theater of goals. We saw goals. A total of 31 goals were scored in just one single match night. Anyway, Edgar, things are very tight. We saw another Haaland record break. Actually, Edgar, breaking that record is something precious. Haaland is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Yes, Haaland is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Look at the goals Erling Braut Haaland has scored at just that age of 23. Edgar, he is the first player to score 40 goals. 40 goals in 35 games in 23 years bracket. Can you imagine? He overcame the likes of Raul Gonzalez, Cristiano Ronaldo, the likes of Karim Benzema. Edgar, Erling Braut Haaland has become another problem. We can clearly confirm that record is actually precious. Ruud van Nistelrooy scored those goals in 45 matches.
We had Van Nistelrooy. Some of us, if you listen to us trying to talk about Manchester United in a very rude way, we are used to the likes of Van.
Edgar Ruud van Nistelrooy helped Manchester United score, but that is actually the record that Erling Haaland has now broken again. You can clearly see from those figures that the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy, the likes of Wayne Rooney. Anyway, Erling Haaland, 35 goals, 35 games, 40 goals against Mbappe, who actually scored those goals in 59 games. We saw Lionel Messi scoring the same number of goals in 61.
You mean Van was that dangerous?
Ruud van Nistelrooy was a typical striker. He was top class anyway. Roberto Lewandowski also scored those goals in 61 games. The Neymar scored those goals, that is 40 goals in 65 appearances. Karim Benzema in 67. Mbappe also coming there with 59. Now, the ages. We see Haaland scoring these goals in 35 appearances, but in the bracket of 30, Edgar. Mbappe was actually in 23, that is with 317 days. 23 years, 317, but this one is 23 and 130, Edgar. This guy. Anyway, Karim Benzema was 26 when he scored 40 goals. Cristiano Ronaldo was 27. You can imagine, was not doing well in the Champions League.
But I think Champions League Haaland played very well when he was still in Dortmund.
Yeah.
Most of the goals
he scored in Dortmund. Thomas Muller also scored such a number of goals after 28 games. Yes.
Thank you very much, Jasper, and thank you very much, viewers. Of course, Jasper will be coming back later on at 3 p.m. We continue with the Morning Blaze. I'm Edgar Akampa. Just have a short break. When we return, it will be the current affairs. Remember, after the current affairs, I will be joined in by my brother Simon Peter Kaswebli, trying to do the Hotspot. Good morning. God loves you.